Hola, vamos a aprender sobre lección 9, stem changing and irregular yo form verbs. So how they work. So stem changing verbs change both in their ending, so to match the subject, as well as in the stem. So they're sometimes called boot verbs because they change in all the forms except the nosotros and vosotros forms, and it's often described to look like a boot. So you've got all of those forms that fall into that boot are going to stem change. And so different types of stem changers. There are 4 types: E to IE, E to I, O to UE, and U to UE. And that one is only used in the verb jugar. So really, if you just remember what jugar does, there's really 3 types: E to IE, E to I, and O to UE. Now to conjugate these, you'll drop the AR, ER, IR ending to locate the stem. And then you'll find the last vowel of the stem change within that stem. So that vowel is going to be the one that's going to be changing. So in the case of like an E to IE, you'll look for the E, the last one of those, the English E, in the stem, and then make the change. So that E, English E becomes an IE. And then add the verb ending to match the subject. In the case of our example that has been going on with a new stem of sier, say we wanted to conjugate that to match yo, you'd have yo siero. Now, a few particulars. So with jugar, the one U to UE, when followed by the name of a sport, it'll use the following formula most of the time. It's quite frequently seen this way. You have jugar matched to your subject plus a, plus a definite article, then plus the name of the sport. So it'll often look something like this: Yo juego al voleibol. You'll see in our vocab this year, I actually dropped the accent on volleyball. It's starting to be able to be seen without it. Just changes a little bit how it's pronounced. If you want it pronounced voleibol, you'll want the accent voleibol. If it's kind of in the middle there, you don't need the accent. It can kind of go both ways. Or things like this: Ustedes juegan al baloncesto. Again, the a and then the definite article. Most of the time, at least with formalized sports, it's going to turn into al. All right, with comenzar, which is an E to IE, and empezar, also an E to IE, these both need a and a when followed by an infinitive. So, ellos comienzan a recordar. They begin to remember. Or tú empiezo a volver a mi casa. So, tú empiezo a volver a mi casa. You have you begin to return to my house or my home. If it's not followed by an infinitive, you don't need that a. And then pensar plus infinitive. So pensar plus infinitive will mean to plan or intend to do something. So it's going to change the meaning of that verb pensar a little bit. So ustedes me piensan mostrar el carro a mí. You all intend to show the car to me. Then we also have pensar plus en, which means to think about someone or something. So ella piensa en la piscina. She thinks about the swimming pool. Now, stem changers with irregular yo forms. So we're going to transition now into irregular yo form verbs, and we're going to focus on the ones that are stem changers. So we have decir, E to I. So yo form is digo. Seguir and conseguir, both E to I's. Their yo forms are going to be sigo and consigo, respectively. Tener, E to IE. You'll have tengo. Venir, E to IE. You have vengo. And then we'll also have some irregular forms with regular verbs, so non-stem changers, but they have irregular yo forms. So with hacer, not a stem changer, but its yo form is hago. Poner and suponer, you have pongo and supongo, respectively. Salir, you have salgo. Traer, you have traigo. And then there's just a couple of other irregular verbs I just want to remind you about. They don't fall into irregular yo forms necessarily. They're just kind of more irregular in general. You have ver, which this one is irregular or kind of breaks what we normally see in both the yo form and the vosotros form. So you have veo, ves, ve, vemos, veis, ven. This one really is only truly irregular in the yo form. You have an extra English E in the middle there. Normally that E would get dropped and it would just be bo. The vosotros form is, I pointed out here because it does not have an accent. This one is like your sois, your vais. A few of them that we've had that are very short don't have an accent. This is not technically irregular. It's all one syllable. And the natural accent would fall on the strong vowel, which it does. We don't want to change that. So it's vais, but there is none written there, which is kind of abnormal. So I pointed out. And then also we have the verb oír. So we have oigo, oyes, oye, oímos, oís, oyen, and oyen. All right, so then we have salir. And a few things about salir. If you have salir de, it's going to mean to indicate someone is leaving from a particular place. So we have something like this. Hoy yo salgo del hospital. Today I leave the hospital. Or él acaba de salir de la casa. He just left the class. So remember, acabar de plus infinitive. That is our little cheat way of talking about the past without leaving the present tense. This one I bring up because the from there is usually not seen in English. It's always there in Spanish. So, for example, today I leave the hospital. Technically, we could say today I leave from the hospital. However, in English, we really often drop that from. In Spanish, the from needs to be there. So, hoy yo salgo del hospital. That de needs to be in there. So you kind of got to watch out. It's invisible in English usually. And then we have salir para. So this is used to indicate that someone is leaving for a particular place or destination. So mañana voy a salir para Mexico. Tomorrow I'm going to leave for Mexico. That para there is the for. Ellos salen para España. They leave for Spain. This one's not really too tricky because it's not invisible in English. The para is the for in English. Then we have salir con. Salir con means to leave with someone or something, or it can mean to date someone. So it can kind of work as an idiom. Just context will determine what that is. So Alberto sale con su mochila. Alberto leaves with his backpack. Marta sale con Guillermo. So this could be translated a couple different ways. Marta leaves with Guillermo, or Marta is going out with Guillermo, or Marta dates Guillermo. Is going out on a date with Guillermo. There's kind of a couple different ways you could translate that, all of which are not really wrong without more specific context. El fin.